Boom! And there we are. We are now live. What's going on, everybody? This is our breakdown of the Disney Plus show Loki. And we are on episode number dose. I am Comics for Cheap, aka James. I got my co-host with me, Justin, aka Comic Talks.
How you doing?
And spoiler alert, obviously, for going any further, if you have not watched episodes 1 and 2 of Loki, or anything else Marvel related up to this point that we might be talking about, do yourself a favor, watch it. It's awesome, and then come back and watch our breakdown of it. Justin, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Got my CDC books in the mail today, and love it. Love when I get that shit out of the way, and I've been hearing people call it summer camp lately. When
Summer
they send they're like sending my books off to summer camp
because it's like, bro, it's like what I think I looked at it, and the economy is like 20 weeks for fast track right now. It's just like, wow, that's kind of crazy. It's five.
It's so funny
months.
how they name these things, like economy.
Yeah.
And it's just
What am I flying on a plane? What am I flying coach for economy?
I'm a medallion member. Come on. I expressed the book for like $120, so I was like, okay, well, this is probably worth it. 20 days later, same thing.
God damn it! So we have episode 2 that we are watching today, or that we have watched and we're breaking down today. And I loved this episode. I don't know about you, but I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
So I like the way they're doing the recaps. Like, did you notice that they kind of just like give you just what you needed to feel like when they shown that he's going through orientation, it's not like jarring. Like he went from just being in a scrubs to or jumpsuit into being in a full suit, and they're like, bam, kind of just did that in like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I loved it.
We start off in Oshkosh.
Oshkosh, of all places.
Oshkosh, Bagosh. Oshkosh, Wisconsin, at a Renaissance fair. Which, have you been to a Renaissance fair?
Every year.
Do you really have
it
them
starts,
every year?
It starts the 22nd around me, and my birthday's on the 24th, so we go every year on my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a regular. Yeah, I'm a Renaissance regular.
Cool.
It's great. Yeah, if you want to come, they have it for like a month straight, so it's very open for like one of the Comic-Cons. We can just make a day of it. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Turkey legs like big as your arm, like all kinds of crazy shit, man.
I haven't been to a Renaissance fair honestly since I think I was in 8th grade or some crazy shit back then. Like it's been a very, very long time, but I remember enjoying it thoroughly when I used to go as a kid. I just haven't been able to go. So
it's a blast.
Seeing a Renaissance fair it just cracked me up.
It's dirty, muddy fun. It's like poor people fun. It's like not a big spectacle, a lot of lights and everything. It's just people acting the time period and being filthy as hell, because that's all that time period was sex and pickles.
You get to throw tomatoes at people and stuff.
Yeah.
Life just doesn't get any better than throwing a tomato at someone.
So the Renaissance fair, they open up and they're coming in looking like someone who's not wearing the right costumes.
Yes.
And the woman who yells at them is actually from, I believe she's from Michigan, or she's from Illinois, one of those. She's from one of the surrounding areas. And my sister actually had her do a comedy show here in Michigan, about like 45 minutes away.
What,
and
really?
we just had, it was like 3 years ago. She was just out here, and she did a show with a couple of the other local comedians out here. Because I used to actually, wanted to be a comedian, but I decided that I didn't want to do that and do the traveling. Look at me now, traveling for comic books. So I don't know.
I don't want to travel. Now I travel every weekend.
Yeah, but it was a really nice lady. She had a really great set, and they actually she had the whole house rolling so hard. They were just like, we need time for the other people. You need to get off the stage. She could have just done the whole set the whole night for like an hour straight. But awesome. It's like another local talent. Comedians are killing it in the MCU right now.
For sure, and I even liked. She didn't have very many lines, but the way that she pulled off. Some of us need this, No,
it's very true about the Renaissance Festival.
Yes,
some of them people are literally. It's carnies, but Renaissance carnies. It's like a whole nother kind of carny.
It's a different level of carny. So the time the Minutemen show up, and they detect the variants, and they fall basically right into the trap of this Loki variant that they are hunting. I love how it goes. They go in and like the loudspeaker just goes off and is saying like foreboding stuff, like it's the fight between good and evil for your princess, blah 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 blah. And it's like, wow, they couldn't have been more direct with that one.
Yeah, they really hit it on the nose with that one, huh?
And then we get to find out a little bit more about how Loki can, or this particular Loki can enchant the people while also kind of doing her own thing. Or I guess, spoiler. But that it's a lady Loki. But so she's kind of doing her own thing, but also controlling these people at the same time with the enchantments, just with a touch. Similar to what Loki did with the use of the scepter in the Avengers movie, but he had to use the scepter to do it. He wasn't able to just do it by touch. So that was, I thought, was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why everyone thinks that this character is another character, and we'll get on that a little bit later in the video. But huge speculations coming out with this kind of stuff. You know how these shows are really getting some fucking gas thrown on the fire for a lot of the concepts. Like I'm not gonna be the first one to say it, but there you go.
I don't want to be the first one to bring Mephisto into the conversation again for the 15th week in a row.
That one character is the one character that people think is going to be like the one causing everything. But me, I think that I think it's Loki. I think there's, it is what it is, and there's a council of Lokis. That'd be nice.
The council of Kangs? What is the council of Lokis?
There's a council of Lokis, Reeds, and Kangs.
Nice. So all right. So obviously that happens. That you go back to the TVA after all of them are slaughtered and
brutally slaughtered.
Yeah,
by each other.
Slaughtered, and one of them's kidnapped. The C18, C something, C20.
I think C20.
C20 is kidnapped, and which they later say has never happened before. So obviously that's part of the plan, and we know she's going to be in future episodes too because we've seen footage of her.
Famous actress as well. Been in a couple really famous projects, but I can't name any of them right now.
We got someone driving through the hood with that loud bass, man.
Yours is mine because I can feel it.
I was like, I'm feeling it through the desk.
I can taste it.
But back at the TVA, Loki is kind of getting briefed. He gets his funny little variants jacket. And
love it. I want that jacket, by the way. I think we need to be Loki variants for the next con.
Oh hell yeah! Actually, that's not a bad idea. We can get a little windbreaker.
Be a little chubby. I'll be a little chubby Loki.
we really are the variants of Loki. I'm the tall, slender man version of Loki.
I'll be A69. You be A420.
Oh my gosh! But as he's showing, he's talking about, it's nothing new to be hunting Lokis, and then he shows a million different Lokis.
I love that.
That was so funny. You get like the frost giant version of Loki.
I like how he says it's probably the most hunted variant.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's another couple characters that do that a lot.
Right.
Probably like Peggy Carter, like everyone thinks, because Peggy Carter shows.
Oh yeah.
But I think that it would be a Peggy or Captain messing up.
What's up, Chow?
Think about how many times Captain America messed up and kept getting fucking erased.
You mean when he goes back in time and stays?
Yeah, it was probably like it's probably like when Doctor Strange got killed with the Time Stone.
Or the TVA allows it because Kang. I'm
just saying.
I think it's Kang. So Kang is like, oh well, Captain America's out of the way now.
I just think his shit was hard mode, so like he would get a lot of free guys. Like they would just keep erasing Cap until the right one happens,
Maybe. I think they would let him happen because he's out of the way now. He's not.
No, they'll definitely let him happen, but like in a certain way, it would have to happen because there's so many different variables.
Right.
If that makes sense, like he's already doing some crazy shit that shouldn't be allowed to happen, but I guess everyone's cool with Cap, going back in time, living with Peggy Carter, ignoring 9/11 and Jeffrey Dahmer and all that.
You had to go straight to 9/11.
I'm just saying,
Captain America, you had to go back in time.
I'm just saying, Captain was spawned from that whole 9/11.
Oh my gosh.
Like post 9/11 world, Iron Man and all that stuff, you know. So I mean,
Mhm.
I'm just saying that's just why we have the movies we have. They're so good because of that.
Because of 9/11, is that what you're saying?
No, they just wanted to make rescue workers and everyone, you know.
Yeah. Then we get they show Lance Armstrong Loki, which
Yeah.
cracked me up.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I think there were
Out
a
of
couple
all the
other
things,
ones. One of them looked like like fucking Hulk, kind of like
yeah,
the small.
like he tried to get the super soldier serum,
Mm-hmm.
or he is a frost giant.
And then I guess like some Norse type versions of Loki too show up, which I just thought all that whole thing was pretty interesting. I was quite amused with them flipping through the holograms.
I could do that all day.
Loki tries to break down the intricacies of his magic and like the differences, and Owen Wilson's like, "All right, calm down,
right,
Professor
take a breath,
Loki.
Chill out, we get it."
Dude, his comedic timing has been like on point so far. These
less
2
is
episodes.
more with him, and I love it.
Yeah. So I think we talked about this last week that the main reason I don't like Owen Wilson as much is because he's very over the top, just like Ben Stiller and like Vince Vaughn. That he plays with them because he's that over the top type of feel. So for him to not be as over the top, I'm really starting to like really enjoy his comedic timing, and like I think he's actually very, very funny in this show. I think the part has been well written for him so far too. Just wanted to throw that in there. But then they go to Oshkosh Bagosh and see what happens. Loki tries to trick them up a little bit.
Tries to distract them with a little story, which when I first started watching it, I was like, oh man, someone's gonna come in and kill him, like he was ready to fight, and I thought everyone was about to get murked right there. I believed him for a minute.
You thought, so you thought that they were gonna come.
Loki was gonna come in, yeah. I thought he was like not bullshitting. He got me.
Yeah, I thought for a second too, and then he's just sitting there. He's lying. I love the pause too. Like I said, the timing is just perfect. He's just like, he's lying. Let's go. And they almost got the red line on that one. They almost were not able to erase everything that had happened.
So what happens then? Like, is that like a? I think we're about to find out.
It redlines. Well, yeah, we are definitely about to find out because there's no way they're going to be able to fix everything. But once it redlines, what they say happens is they're no longer able to use that little device
to stop the Nexus event, right?
To stop that Nexus event. So it does become an alternate reality, which can, or the way their propaganda says, it can erase reality as we know it, or destroy reality as we know it. Blah blah blah. But does it really?
I think it might not. Now that you said that.
Yeah, they've been trained to believe that it will cause, total destruction and everything like that. But the way that I think about it is like, no, I don't think so. It's just now that's its own reality. That's its own alternate universe that has broken off that they're just not able to control anymore because they can't erase it.
Right. And that, I mean, how long do the branches go before it does break the timeline? Because we've seen all the branches broke the red line. So is it just going to be like now they're all going to be disillusioned by like, I guess it didn't end. So
they
what
timed
happens
it
now?
by something different because they called it units. Remember, they're like 2 units till red line and then 1 unit. So I don't know how long that is. But when they were showing when he was in the lobby in the last episode and they showed like all the things going up. So they do branch off, and it does look like they will intersect again in the future. So that is a possibility that they could come and like, I think that's where we're going to get into like the multiverse of madness because
it shows them
because it can intersect their sacred timeline as they call it. So that is a possibility, I guess, for them to intercept and branch and whatever. But and that will just cause more timelines. So it can become a little bit confusing and a clusterfuck, but I don't think it would destroy that main branch just like that necessarily.
Yeah, I know. Like they said that the war was just madness, so like it wasn't like it didn't destroy everything. Like it didn't just like end the world. It was
the
horrible.
Winners of history write the history. So it could have been, or
Kang conquering.
Yeah, it could have just been Kang taking over, and he says that we can't go back to this because this was madness. And
see, I thought of something the other day, and this is like really, really out there.
Okay.
What if the Timekeepers? What if they are just members of the TVA now? What if they started their own departments? Ravonna Renslayer is the one in the center. Owen Wilson be one on the left or the right, and the last one be the main Minuteman. Because they all work in like a judicial kind of system that is like there's 3 different powers, and they all have to agree, and that's kind of seems like what's going on. And I think that they've all been like, besides Renslayer, I think they've all been mind wiped of that.
Huh. That would be interesting.
In the furthest rogue version of what I think could happen in the show. That happened. I was like, damn, that'd be a really good comic book.
It'd be interesting because Mobius wouldn't appear out with the way that it appears anyway. It seems like he is just as lost as who the Timekeepers are as anyone. He's never seen them. He's never met them. And
but he's shown signs of not remembering things.
Maybe. Okay. All right. I agree. I want to get into Renslayer a little bit more, obviously, because I think there's definitely something going on there. Oh,
she bad. I can tell. I can tell she bad. And it's like either good bad or like a bad kind of way,
I got that vibe pretty hard. So Loki almost gets them in the tent. And then we go to where Mobius is in Renslayer's office, and we zoom in on that center timekeeper who looks a lot like Kang. Just saying. I know it's probably not going to be that, but it could be.
I mean, they always did. They always did look like Kang.
Yeah.
So I mean,
whatever.
That's
space lizards, as Loki calls them. And here we get a couple interesting conversation pieces between Mobius and Renslayer, or R Slayer, or whatever you want to call her. One, that she's got another favorite person on the side that he likes to keep teasing. Another analyst on the side as Mobius likes to tease her. And we all know who her love interest is supposed to be. Wink, wink. So could it possibly be that? Could Kang have started in the TVA in the MCU and kind of worked his way up, similar
Employee of the Month style?
Yeah.
It's been 2,000 years, buddy.
Imagine. Hey, bro, look, if you keep working like this, man, I can see good things in your future.
Good things in your future.
Try dangling a carrot in front of Kang.
Yeah. See, the thing about Kang is like there's a Kang the Conqueror, and then there's all the iterations of Kang that come before him, and he enlightens them on what happens and gives them the technology to make sure it happens. That's how he exists. So, like, there would be a Kang in this universe, but he's not going to be the Kang that we see in Ant-Man, most likely. It would be an iteration of Kang, kind of like how the Lokis are. But I think that's what they're trying to do is, trying to get us used to the fact that
there could be
Disney got all the different kinds of toys they want, and they'll keep doing what they want.
This is all a ploy to sell female Loki toys.
Secret Wars was created to sell toys.
Yes, it
and
was.
We are heading towards Secret Wars 2015.
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got different colors to sell toys. It wasn't a lot of plot points can come from toy selling. I don't know about this day and age, but that's how
it is a little bit. It is a little bit harder now, but they have to do it more subtle. And I think they do it in these movies with Legos and everything else, just by they're not. That's a different thing.
Legos is not a word; it's Lego.
Lego.
Yeah, have you been? I'm starting to side branch a little bit. Have you been watching the Lego show?
Did you say sidebar?
Sidebar.
Have you been watching the Lego show?
Yeah, have you been watching the Lego show? Dude,
no, I haven't.
Really fucking
are we gonna do a Monday show now about Lego?
With Will Arnett? Yeah, we're gonna speculate on who's gonna win.
He's in the show. Will Arnett was my favorite about Batman.
Dude, the show is hilarious. First of all, and second of all, it's really cool what they can create. But I digress. Anyways, so Renslayer
we went way off.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We hit Legos.
Hey. So Mobius is kind of still sticking his neck out a little bit for Loki, and Renslayer is not a fan of keeping Loki on board. Obviously,
And
she wants to delete him.
itchy. She's real itchy, and that's the
Yeah,
thing. It's just like I don't know. I really like her, and I think she's gonna be a really strong character. But I think we're gonna be like kind of upset that she's gonna be the bad guy because I like her and I want her because Owen likes her. When Owen Wilson likes her, I want to like her. You know, I don't want him to be hurt, and I
right.
want him to ride a jet ski into the sun at the end of this fucking at the end of the show. You know,
Jet ski.
mm-hmm.
I just got this vibe while watching the show, and I'm sure that's probably, or watching the scene, and I'm sure that's probably what they wanted, to portray.
Mm-hmm.
But I was vibing out that something was definitely off about her. Like she's not who she seems to be. I'm getting kind of like an evil vibe. I know she's supposed to be love interest to Kang. I have a feeling that they're kind of working together, or
Right.
That she is really the end all be all at the TVA. And Kang kind of uses her to ensure the sacred timeline, and she is like the top, and there really aren't the timekeepers. It's her.
Yeah, and you've seen how they had to sign off just to be able to go and do.
His thighs before he rides a jet ski. I'm done with the MCU.
Same, brother. Same. Say there was a perfect time in 1990 where they had form and function.
Wow.
I love it. And I don't know where I was going with what I was saying, but I guess it wasn't that important. I don't remember.
I don't know. I just think that I was saying that I think she is the head of the.
Definitely something going on with her.
Definitely.
I'm on Mephisto watch for her.
Mephisto watch. She's 2%. Actually Mephisto.
2%. She's Mephisto.
Please don't bring back the Mephisto meter. So a lot of someone was breaking down to the point because I saw this picture kind of floating around the pen that he hands back to her.
Yeah, the Kennedy High School or Roosevelt High School.
Franklin Roosevelt High School. Yeah, and then people were like, "Oh, it says Franklin and it's blue." And, it's a reference to the Fantastic Four, Franklin Richards, blah blah. I was like, "Damn, that's
damn,
deep. That is deep down the rabbit hole there."
Can you even climb out of that hole when you dig it? God damn!
Like it's a reference to Kang because Nathaniel Richards and Franklin. I'm like, oh my god.
Now, if it would have said Richards High School, I would have said yeah, sure.
Yeah,
but
that was
where I should have looked up that high school. Where is that? Is that a New York high school?
I'm sure there's a lot of Franklin Roosevelt high schools, man.
That has to be an important reason for that. I didn't think about that.
You think one of the younger superheroes went to? Because I think there's an FDR high school in New York. I'm pretty sure
there's probably an FDR high school in every city, every metropolitan city has
yeah. So I mean, if one of the I can't remember off the top of my head, but maybe one of the teen superheroes goes to FDR high school. I don't know.
So with everything we have going on, we've already seen that Loki is trying to basically just stick with Mobius so he can prove him wrong. That's his whole thing. He knows he can't escape now at this point and just wants to talk to the TVA people in charge.
Because he thinks he can somehow swindle them, even though he's been unsuccessful in swindling Mobius. And Mobius is a creation of them. But he thinks
exactly.
Mobius said, that he's so arrogant that he really thinks that he could overthrow or somehow, manipulate the TVA.
There's a really weird thing that happened when they're in the library. The desk is built around the lady and she can't leave it. Well, it's really sad.
Wait, that she can't, but she gets up. She does leave it. What are you talking about?
Probably like a trap door.
She just jumps over, hurdles it.
Yeah, he picks her up.
Well, I mean, the other guy said that he lives his whole life behind the desk too. That's literally what their purpose is. They're created to basically be slaves.
And calluses from typing.
Calluses. That was pretty funny when he's like, "What files can I have?" He hands him the Loki file, and he gets to find out about Ragnarok.
Yeah,
which you think he's going to be a little more emotionally involved in that, and then he actually is. And it turns out he's just like, it's very sad.
He's like, yeah, it's very sad. Anyways, I could push the Hulk off the Rainbow Bridge.
Oh my gosh, that metaphor was amazing. But thinking about it as genius that you can just hide in an apocalypse because the apocalypse is supposed to happen. So anything that you do to fuck up something before it or right before it, I guess, it wouldn't even register because they're all going to die anyway.
Yeah,
so then they
Loki,
get to go to Pompeii.
Yeah, so Loki figures out that if you hide in an apocalypse, that since everyone dies, nobody can affect the timeline anymore. So he's like, okay, cool, let's do that. They go to Pompeii. He creates the worst disturbance ever. He frees some goats, and then
and then shouts in Italian.
He's I think it's Italian, yeah, or is it early Latin?
Oh, it could be Latin.
It's probably Latin, but he's yelling at them that they're all gonna fucking die. And then the funniest thing happens when he tells everyone that he's from the future. No matter what year you're in, everyone's gonna look at you like you're a dumbass. And the dude with the basket looks at him like, okay, who cares? This is fucking stupid.
Think about it. How many times? I mean, right there, in Italy, how many times I'm sure they heard something very similar. Yeah, because I mean, we're talking about
the world's gonna end
less than 100 years AD. So
everyone's gonna die.
They're already fucking slaughtering all the Christians who say the exact same thing about people from the future or people coming down from the heavens or whatever it is. So they're just like, yeah, whatever. They're probably gonna crucify you in a couple minutes, bro. So just move along.
I love how Mobius is like, can you do any bird noises? And he's just like, what? Like, if you do a bird noise, is it gonna make like someone's gonna be like, wow, a bird, and then trip, and then like that person's gonna kill a baby, and then the baby was Hitler?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like the butterfly effect, I get it.
I mean, I was about to say the butterfly effect. You're pretty much.
It'd be really meta. And now this is just like a little sidebar, real quick. Mm-hmm. What if they had Ashton Kutcher in this book? Like if they in the next episode they have him like in the background arresting him. Because you remember awesome. In Dude, Where's My Car? They do time travel, and in Butterfly Effect they do time travel. He's done it twice.
Well, 3 times the charm. And Ashton Kutcher, he's already got that long Loki hair, so maybe he will get an Ashton Kutcher look.
Oh my god, an Ashton Kutcher. And there's cameras over there, and there's cameras over there.
If we get Ashton Kutcher Loki doing Punk.
Where's Ashton?
That's it. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm going to sell off my collection. It's over.
And so they end up, pouring over the research and everything inside the library. And he is basically trying to, him and Mobius are just basically tired out. They go for a walk and talk about it. And they both kind of have a little talk about how mean Mobius is to him and everything, and his real belief system, and how he truly believes that everyone in the TVA is actually the only people who are free. But really, if you look at it, everyone in the TVA are the ones who are not free forever and always. You're always working a desk job for the rest of your life. You only known that. Yeah. So it's really interesting, like how philosophical this entire show is, and like a 30-second stoner conversation between two dudes. Yeah, and it's like
that was definitely like
a real dinner with Andre.
If I was high,
you know what I mean?
Like, whoa, because it definitely was. I mean, they were basically talking about the life's big fucking philosophical questions. I mean, this is what people get fucking degrees in: is do we have free will, or is it all meant to be? And he's challenging that notion with Mobius and saying, so none of us have free will. And he's like, well, no,
$20 million, bro.
That. And then, oh no, are we going to go over the episode again? And then basically saying that, if we think about where any of us come from, it's all chaos.
Yeah, I really like that.
I'm sitting there like, God damn, you're just like, you're listing off basically all of the great philosophers and what their thoughts were. Like, do we have free will? All of it is chaos. Like everything, he's just going down the list and checking off the boxes.
And it's interesting because, like, do they have branch realities based off their reality? It's just like, it's a fucking big ball of wax. It's like, what came first, TVA or the timeline? It's just like, that's why it's interesting that they're lizards, because lizards also lay eggs. And that's where the time twisters come from. They could be time twisters. Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn. The universe used to be cool until the time twisters made everything one big fucking stupid long timeline that ruins everything. Because in 2040 they said that everything just goes to shit for like the next 20 years.
They were trying to, once they do figure out and they test their theory They're like, all right, well, let's pull all of the and then they triggers in Mobius's head the fucking kablooey candy.
The candy.
Then he's like, all right, so let's pull all the apocalypses on. Well, here's the other thing. It just conveniently happened to be on Earth, right? But but I mean, let's pull all the apocalypses between this time frame where Kablooey was made. I guess because Kablooey came from Earth, so that's why they went to Earth. Yeah. So that, I mean, it was pretty funny though. Like the death of the swallow killed the ecosystem, and it was like tidal wave, meteors, supernovas, whatever the case may be, of their apocalypse. And, but yeah, it was pretty funny how many there were. But I mean, you got to think about it. How many times do we see that kind of thing? Tidal wave in the Middle East, or Katrina.
I would say every 5 years something insane happens.
Coronavirus.
I mean, we just literally lived through one. Knock on wood.
Right. And so I mean, they're not wrong. It sounds silly when he's listing them off, but I mean, death of the bumblebee is something that we're looking at right now that could be disastrous to the ecosystem. So death of the swallow, I mean, it's not. It sounds funny. I know it's for comedic purpose, but you can look at it as like, no, that
really
shit could actually happen.
Really messed up the ecosystem.
So then they go to Alabama.
Alabama.
They go on down to Alabama.
Damn.
And I think the store name has some kind of significance. Do you know?
It's Roxon Oil. I don't know if you watch Cloak and Dagger. But Roxon is the company that is in charge of drilling and stuff like that, and they get into all kinds of experimental energies and stuff like that, and they dig for a gas underneath the town, and it ends up creating Cloak and Dagger. There's like a huge explosion, and they both get powers, and a couple other people get powers and stuff like that, but that's their whole show, and it was Roxon Oil Company that was responsible for that. They're saying that Roxon exists in this, other timeline or whatever. I don't know how they're going to be handling that, but the companies are the same company, and they basically kind of confirm Cloak and Dagger and the Runaways is existent in the multiverse for them.
Okay. There was also something about like some kind of Minotaur type.
Dario Rosso, I think his name is.
Thank you.
Rosso.
Thank you, yeah. That shows up in the Mighty
I know his
Thor
name is Dario, but
run. He's like this big beast with the horns and everything. I mean, the horn's very prevalent to Loki, obviously.
He is a Minotaur.
He shows up in the Mighty Thor run from Jason Aaron with Lady Loki. I'm not Lady Loki, Lady Thor. And if we're getting Lady Thor in Love and Thunder, are we going to get this character too? Is this a speculation that maybe we should look at?
I seriously hope not, because I just think it's a huge waste of.
I mean, even if it's just like a.
I just think all the characters a giant Minotaur.
Why not? We haven't gotten a giant Minotaur yet. All Minotaurs matter. Just kidding. So I mean, it could be something.
It could be a giant cow, but
it could be a huge running at you cow.
They're just showing that that Roxon Oil Company is existent in the universe, which means there's a couple other things. Roxon is a company that is always in competition with Rand, which is Iron Fist's company. So now we have a possibility that they're going to start bringing in more and more concepts. The life model decoy thing, that's from Shield, directly from Shield. Also a call out from Iron Man trying to fuse the two things. And, I think Loki is just showing us that there is a fabric being laid down that will hold all of these concepts together. And we don't need to worry about licensing and all this shit anymore, because it's all one giant property now.
Right. Cool. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of geeking out about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go into this Roxcore, Roxcon, Roxcraft, whatever they call it, the store. Roxcart, thank you. And split up into teams to look for the variant. We get a little bit of a show that the TVA are kind of bullyish, a little bit of the bully cop feel.
I didn't like that.
From the Minutemen. Yeah, so that was kind of and Mobius was trying to be like, yo, chill, like I get they're scared, but they shouldn't be scared of us, kind of thing. So I thought that was a nice little
it's already bad enough for these people, don't you think?
Right. I think it also kind of showed a little more of the true nature of the TVA too. That
Oh yeah,
maybe they are more of the evil that
time
we are
bullies.
coming to expect. Yeah.
Hmm.
But of course, Loki and the hunter or huntress stumble upon an enchanted person who's looking for plants that are half off. It's a hurricane sale. It's all half off.
Nice choice of words there because they actually used that term in the show.
What's that?
Enchanted.
Oh yeah. Do you think like Enchantress is coming?
Most people do. It's like a
Okay.
big. There's an A and B. Lady
Uh-huh.
Loki, Enchantress.
Oh, do you think that it is Enchantress and not a Lady Loki?
Well, I think there's a combination of the character.
Combination of the
I think
two.
they're just going to say Lady Loki is Enchantress.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, like, why do you
Well, yeah.
need two
And that's just to
characters?
keep her in there. Yeah. Just to kind of
Or
keep
Loki
her
died and took
going.
over that Enchantress's body because it was a strong magical vessel.
She does seem to have stronger magic right now. He
Hmm.
does the magic to dry himself off and also summons the power of the Roomba.
Well, the thing
Whosoever
about Loki is that
he's
he's
so ever he's so mighty to wield the power of Roomba.
yeah, I know, I love that. He summons the
He just
Roomba.
reaches out. He's like, and the Roomba fucking
Yeah,
comes
so
and
obviously there's powers and skill sets that we don't know about that Loki has, but he's always had someone there with him to do other things. He's never had to like fight on his own with his powers, and I think this enchanted version of Loki, which I have no reason to believe that it wouldn't be a Loki variant because they've already specifically said that the temporal energy is Loki's. So even if it is
right.
Loki inside of Enchantress's body, that's
Mm-hmm.
Lady Loki.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Enchantress. I mean, it is
Gotcha.
the bot. I mean, it's both, but I don't think that Salvi, the Enchantress, is important in that aspect.
Okay. All right.
Unless that's why she can also be walking around while enchanting people because there's two people in one body.
Well, that's what I was saying. It seems like that, like just that in itself is very strong
Hmm.
force of magic. I think so. It's just something that we haven't seen
There's more
yet
base.
before, even from Agatha. Or well, I guess Agatha did it. Agatha controlled. Agatha controlled Boner, and
Oh yeah.
Scarlet Witch controlled a town. So I mean, I guess it's not entirely out of the realm of the magic thing, but
Hmm.
we haven't seen it from Loki. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Even with all the stuff that he's done with the projections and body doubling and everything like that.
There's just a strong chance that this being a female Loki, maybe she leaned more into the magic side than the warrior brute side trying to be a king. If you're a woman, maybe that she wasn't going to be allowed to be a king, so that's why she has
Gotcha.
this complex. Maybe it's going to try to touch on some of that.
Ryan saying that a casting list got leaked that had young Sylvie in it.
Yeah, so they're probably going to do something like you'll never be a king, or I think it's going to be something like that because I
Okay.
don't think with that hierarchy they even accepted the fact that Odin's son can be Odin daughter king. That's
Right.
why Hela was like, I want to be the shit, and I want to take all the realms, and he was like, nah.
He was like, nah, and then Thor
Hmm.
was like, I would love it for it to be you, but no.
Yeah, but you're just the worst.
Yeah. But he does pass it on.
Hmm.
So I mean
Yeah,
it's
he
not
does
like
create
he's
the first female king.
right. Yeah, he does. So that I mean that's kind of cool.
That's
But back to the show here. So now he does. We do stumble upon the enchanted human who then enchants the
Randy.
huntress. Randy. Randy. Well, that's after. That's after he enchants the huntress, and then the huntress enchants Randy, and he's like, "I miss Randy." when
I love
he,
Randy.
yeah, he enchants
Yeah, the big
the
dude.
big monster comes in
Yeah.
and just starts whooping that ass. And he's
Hmm.
like, I would do that. I would never do this to me. That shit cracked me up. He's like, I would
Yeah.
never do this to myself. So
Well,
that's also kind of a nod to is it really Loki? I
well, the
think.
thing is, when he's like, "Oh, I guess you're me," and she's like, "Well, if
If
anything is,
anything, you're
you're me."
me. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
kind of
that's
stalling for time type of thing, making all these superior Loki jokes.
yeah, that's one thing Owen Wilson said is like she likes to stall for time, which
Mhm.
she
Which
did while setting up bombs.
Successfully setting all those charges. That was a lot of charges, by the way. Think about how many groups and teams that she slaughtered to steal only one at a time.
Yeah,
Because it seems like
42
they only
bombs.
brought one bomb at a time, and she had to steal them one at a time and then keep going back to the spot. And I guess she would have kept doing it. My assumption is
like
she would have
2
kept
or
doing
so.
it until she would have kept doing it until she got caught. So she got caught at 40 something.
42.
42.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess she would have kept going. So she could have potentially gone to hundreds, and then just fucking once she was caught there, just send hundreds into the wherever they happen to go.
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse. Yep. Loki came in to try to help. It was the stall for time, the fight that wasn't really a fight, where he summoned a Roomba. That was pretty funny. And then
it was a good little taste of a fight.
Briefly show, and someone actually paused, and that's how I know, because someone had a picture. I was not quick enough or care enough to actually freeze frame, but there was like a picture of like some of the places listed where these events, the Nexus events, started breaking off. I think one was Asgard,
Vormir,
yeah, that was another one.
One was Vietnam.
Okay. I recognize Asgard and Vormir, the two, more than anything. Hey, what's up, man? Ryan says gonna hack the Marvel Wiki to change Loki's birth name to Randy Loftus.
Bo Bandy.
Randy, Bo Bandy. So now the sacred timeline has been bombed.
Which is
absolutely bombed. And dude, who was the mustache dude who's sitting there looking at the monitor that like all of a sudden was like, that shit was hilarious. Like his face was so funny. Was he in WandaVision? He looked so fucking familiar.
No, but
has he been in anything recently in Marvel? I like watching it the second time. I was looking at him. I was like, I have seen his face somewhere.
I think maybe he's been in something you've seen, but I didn't recognize him in any way. And we triple watched this.
Obviously, Yeah, I know. I recognized them from something. If someone knows, please let me know, because like I saw it the second time. I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe I've seen him in something recently as like a cameo or something, but I was like, I recognize that face, and it like. His shock face just had me rolling, man. It was
that shit was like that Chernobyl show when Chernobyl starts to go. They were like, "Oh fuck!" Dude didn't even know what to say on the phone. The other guy grabs the phone. He's like, "We just got bombed, yo."
we just got.
Then you see all the TVA members running through certain portals.
Yep.
And like, what are you gonna like? I don't get it. Like, what are they gonna do? Those times get bombed. They just get reset, right? Like,
so. Either one. So yeah, they're resetting timelines that the TVA controlled, and so it's going back to normal and whatever. Or it is just obliterating certain things in the area, which just throw the timeline through a loop. So if you like take a couple of people out of a timeline or whatever, then
that's what I don't understand.
Like something off
because technically, when they do that, doesn't it automatically?
What do you mean? Maybe
reset? Maybe it's because they're not resetting them.
Maybe she's put them in all the different spots that she fucked stuff up. Like she's just
there has to be something else there
chasing her, so she just recharged. So even though
she wrote them all down every time,
maybe or just automatically programmed them from wherever the last spot that she came, and then she's resetting the reset, so everything that she did there still counts.
Oh yeah, so every time they've reset, she has a list of those, and it's just resetting their reset. It's continuing on to be a bad timeline.
Right.
Huh. Okay, so what if someone reset the Roxcart store right when that happened, and it didn't?
That's where it just gets a little confusing. I'm sure they're going to explain it in the next episode of what exactly
it's going
to be like. But yeah, it would get a little bit of Inception. So where you're just resetting a reset.
Yeah, and no Tenet where it's just like, you don't know what you're talking about. And it ends.
This whole show is actually directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. It's just like, it's a wrap.
We're just mind fucking everybody. But yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. So she goes off through her little portal. Obviously, Mobius is like, "No, Loki, don't follow her." And Loki's like, "Fuck you guys," and then just jumps through that portal.
Anyways,
that, Renslayer is probably not going to be so happy with Mobius. Mobius might die. Mobius might get the axe for that one.
I mean, I wonder what happens to them if they die, because they have numbers and shit. Like, maybe they just come back.
Then sign another case.
Like A20, A21, A22, you know, like.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe that's what happened to the Timekeepers. They exploded and created the TVA.
Obviously, Renslayer is not going to be happy. We saw Renslayer jump through one of the portals, so that was pretty interesting.
What I'm saying is, like, why are the Minutemen finite?
What do you mean?
Why are they finite? Why is there only a certain number of them? Why can't they just be infinite?
I'm sure it is infinite. They just assign a number to them. I'm sure that nobody has been so successful of killing all of them before. They haven't had.
So they're just like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah. So creating more of them probably wasn't too much of a need.
So this is the second episode.
Yes.
We've already seen Lady Loki.
Yes.
Are they going to start building a team with Lokis? Is it going to be the Loki squad?
That would be cool. That would be awesome.
Because it seems like every episode from now on is going to be a Loki episode where they're going to give us. We've already seen the Vote Loki. That could be either our variant running off and then them finding him, like, because time works differently. They might find him in a different timeline years later, and he's already lived and ruled this world or something like that. Right, they can do it in 5 minutes, you know.
Amusing, yeah, of course.
And then,
similar to how in Ragnarok, when Thor shows up, and Loki's already gained favor with the Grand Master.
Yeah, been here for 2 weeks.
Gained favor with it. 2 weeks.
Since you brought that up, I seen the funniest fucking thing the other day, and I always forget about it when I watch the movie. But when Doctor Strange takes Loki and then leaves the card. Thor pokes the card.
Umbrella is like Loki. He thinks that he turned into a postcard.
It's like that goes to show like how petty Loki could be. Like, he'll turn himself into a business card and just like it stab you, you know.
He pokes it, and then when he knows that I love snakes, so I got the snake, and then it turned back into Loki and he stabbed me.
I'm looking. Oh, I tricked you.
Oh man.
So like
funny.
Yeah, so like with that, I think they're team building the Loki team, and we're probably gonna see Team Loki versus the whatever kind of fucked up time structure this is, because if there's anything we've learned with preventative time cops, you know, it just doesn't work out. It never works. What was that one movie? Minority Report? Where they found out that, you know, it's just like being a time cop can't possibly work because eventually the time cops commit crimes. And
Oh yeah.
It's like you just can't.
He like has to leave the force and like try to save whoever. Blah blah blah.
Because they predict that he does a crime, and he's just like,
wait. That's right.
He's like, wait, I'm a cop though, and this is unfair now.
That makes you think: is it because of the prediction that he commits the crime, or was he gonna commit the crime without the prediction?
Yeah, and I think that with the whole timeline thing, that they're saying that eventually time will end and everything will be fine. I think that that's just a ruse. Like and Loki calls it propaganda as it is, and we know why he calls it propaganda, because it is time cop propaganda. And I'm not shocked that these cops are dicks, because, you know, they've done this for like millions of years. You know, like theoretically. Millions of years, and there's no end in sight. So I would be getting pretty testy too. I'd be like, who cares of these fucking sheeple
across the universe? I mean, like, and again, it plays into, do they have free will, or do they absolutely have to follow the timeline? I mean, it's just like, so these cops are constantly monitoring, and if you're ever wrong, like, they have to take you out. They kill you.
Yeah, they reset you. Which I mean, you've seen that they can also prune each other, or prune the other people. So I don't know. Is that like something that they are afraid of happening to them if they fall out of line, or their timeline? Because that's another thing. Like, do they have free will because they're not in the timeline? Is what Loki was going for. It's a really interesting concept.
It is,
because until we see the Timekeepers, it's like Schrodinger's Timekeepers. It's either the time twisters. There's 3 fucking Lokis. There are no time twisters. There are no
Right.
timekeepers. And
Right.
what if there is a multiverse and they're just like lying to everybody and they
Right.
isolate the one time? But I
Yeah,
think, and in the end, I think it's just Kang trying to, make sure his city exists, Chronopolis, which we already seen. We already seen the city in Ant-Man.
When we see the city.
Ant-Man 2, you see the city.
Oh.
You never seen it when the tardigrades and everything happen, and they show that Janet and Hank find each other, and they get in the ship and they're taking off. You get for like a brief second, you see a bubble, and then you see a whole city inside of it, and it stays on that frame for a second.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Okay, I can't believe I never showed you that.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, Chronopolis is the city in
Right.
the microverse and the miniverse, whatever it is, because it doesn't get affected by time, and he can hide there while making sure that he exists in the timeline.
Oh, yeah, I definitely had no idea. That definitely that one went over my head, I can tell you. So
We learn something new every day. So expect
Absolutely.
Kang and the Council of Kangs.
I expect Kang. 100% I expect Kang. I know they flat out asked Jonathan Majors if he was going to appear, and he was just like, what are you talking about? Say, I know he can't say anything, obviously, for spoiler reasons, but,
Mhm.
you know.
You don't want to be that guy to do that. Look
It
at
does seem
Mark Ruffalo.
how hated you'll be. Dude, it's different because he just left his phone on live and then went to sit down at a premiere. Like, he just didn't know. He's an old man and didn't know how to use technology. And then everyone gives Tom Holland shit, but I honestly think that leak was a planned leak.
Yeah, they probably made.
Yeah, I think Sony was kind of told him to do it, and then was like, blah blah blah, just to get more press. Because if a leak were to happen from an actor, it gets more press than them just kind of saying something.
Predictions for the next episode.
Predictions for the next episode. I didn't even watch the trailer for the 3rd episode, but just going off of what I saw from this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think there's going to be a sit-down conversation between Loki and Lady Loki because he follows her through. I think that's kind of be where we did see in the overall show trailer where they're kind of sitting with a ruined New York behind them. I think that's going to come into play in this episode. We're going to really find out her motives or maybe a little more insight on the TVA from an outside non-TVA worker perspective.
Yep.
And I think that either Mobius is going to, I don't know. I don't think they're going to kill him, but like he's either off the case and it's going to be like one of those things where like, give me your gun and your badge, but then I'll solve it myself off the record or whatever.
If they prune Owen Wilson in the next episode, we riot.
Or he's gonna or like they're really gonna double down and they're just gonna send everyone after them, and then it's just gonna be basically like you were saying, Loki's versus all kind of thing. So that I think is my prediction because I don't think we're gonna get any big reveals yet. What is it, 6 or 8 episodes?
It's 6, and I think they're gonna flip it on its head in this next one. Yeah, because now we're at the there's gonna have to be a falling in this, right? And if you consider it this way.
Action.
So we have
climax until 5th episode.
So they got 6 episodes. So let's break it down. If they were doing it in the movies, it would be each 2 are its own sort of arc. And we had Loki rise, or Loki origins, rise into the TVA. And the next one's going to be him doing his own hero's journey and a test of his will to help Owen Wilson or help the Loki try to understand her thing. If he's going to betray them or not is going to be episode 4. And whatever's going on in episode 5 and 6 is going to be like the crazy shit that is supposed to be. Yeah, the big reveal, what's going on now in the universe. Which this show is already like, it felt like number 1 in episode 2 could have had another episode in between it. Just because of like how interesting the TVA is and all the stuff they do. And I could literally watch them do like what if timelines all day in the show. I could get fucking 4 seasons of this show just doing dumb shit like that. Like the Black Panther is destroying New York right now. Why? Because New York and Reed Richards rendered vibranium inert to stop Dr. Doom, and now Black Panther and all of them are pissed. Like I would love that kind of stuff, and that would be where I would want.
Basically, we're going to stem all this what if when is the what if show coming? I know it's an animated.
Well, the what if show is supposed to happen soon. I think it's supposed to happen in the next. I think it's the next show.
Okay.
And then once we do, or I think it's that or Hawkeye, one of those. Once we get that, people think we're getting the Guardians of the Multiverse, which is one person from each of those episodes going on to be a team in the Guardians of the Multiverse, coming to its own project. So what if, and then what if season 2 will basically be Guardians of the Multiverse, with them going into what if situations.
I got you.
That's what people think is going to happen. But I mean, the posters are the only reason why people think that, because it shows all of them from different episodes and says Guardians of the Multiverse.
Gotcha.
Which, if you don't have your what if comics and your weird comics like that, get them now, because they're really cheap.
If we see Chronopolis, we will see the Anachronauts who live there and are the Black Order for King.
Yeah, so there are, and that's one thing. It's like the TVA, like where it resides, that could be Chronopolis. We just can't tell because of how it's built.
That would be really cool.
But if you look at Chronopolis and then you look at the TVA, the way from the inside perspective, you could 100% just believe that is where the bubble is. Outside is like Janet and fucking Hank hanging out like a mile away looking at it. That's how far they were. Janet was wandering around that area living, and that's how she got mutant powers or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, this is just a lot of stuff there, and if it's not Chronopolis and it's not Kang and it's just like all this shit they just kind of like let grow into a wildfire, then I mean that's Marvel's fault. And, making people live on this stuff, and to not address it and just say no, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like kind of like you don't want people doing that because it gets them worked up, like Spider-Man. How many villains are in Spider-Man right now?
35.
I swear to God, the only person I haven't heard about is Kingpin, and I think they did say Jackal. Jackal's going to be in it. And there's no Kingpin.
If they say Kingpin, bro, you're going to be happy. I know you just picked them up.
No, that's one thing I was saying. I was like, this is the one villain that they said isn't going to be in the fucking movie, and I bought it. I know. But I mean, I had to get me a Kingpin because of the cover.
Oh, for sure, dude. That's
Spider-Man No More.
Yeah, Spider-Man No More. I love that ASM 50, man. Like, I have mine.
I can't. Are you going to be doing an unboxing for that the Hulk stuff you got? Because that would be a really nice unboxing video.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I finished paying that off tonight, actually. So that'll be coming.
Congratulations.
Next week. Yeah, thank you.
I know the feeling of like finally getting that 3K debt off your fucking pack. And you're just
I honestly thought it was going to be 3,000. Luckily, it was a lot less than that for me. But I mean, I still would have been happy to pay it just because those are super rare books.
Those books,
Hulk,
priceless to me.
Hulk 1 through 6 are extremely, extremely rare. With number 1 being one of the all-time rarest.
Commercial failure.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the print count was lower already, and then just the fact that nobody really kept them or took care of them.
No one gave a shit about
in comparison to ASM 1 or FF 1 even. It probably has a little bit more copies out there than Hulk 1, because I see FF 1 before I see Hulk 1 at shows.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So I'm very excited to be getting my Hulk books. I got 2 through 4, so now I just need 1, 5, and 6.
Oof. Which are the easier ones, actually, though. Number 1 is not easy, but it is available, but at a certain price.
Be easier. Yeah. And then number 1 will just be have to find the right person for a long-term payment plan.
It's relative, because if you didn't give a shit about what you spent, you could find any book under the sun. There's very few books that aren't out there.
Right.
But the price is fucking insane right now for a lot of these books. I think the first Riddler at a 9.4 just sold for $500,000 the other day. I think yesterday.
Ghost Rider just set a record for all-time bronze.
250,000, was it?
A little over $250,000, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm watching the shit.
I love taxes and fees, bro.
Underneath it is always the conspiracy theorists, and I'm just like, look, guys, it's $250,000. I'm sure that you're not the only fucking bureau looking into this shit right now. It's like,
oh yeah,
you can chill.
Obviously, all those huge auction house type sites have to report everything.
Oh, of course. And the auctions themselves are, looking into it and making sure there's no shill bidders and shit like that. I mean, even if they're
your fucking bank account to
$250,000 pullout, it's still a shit ton of money, because I think they still take a shit ton of money off of you if you fall off of it and sue you.
Yeah, if you decide that you want to cancel, you still have to pay. I'm pretty sure you still have to pay all the fees and then like a certain percentage of the sale. So yeah,
You probably have to pay Heritage their money.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The fees you still have to pay the auction house fees, and then you have to pay a certain percent or whatever because they're gonna have to relist it. So, I wouldn't want to pull out a $250,000 with that tax. What 10%? That's $25,000, bro. That's an additional $25,000 that you're paying.
You're living in a fucking trailer and you buy a fucking $250,000 comic.
Yeah,
that's a good investment.
I don't think I'm just gonna put down this money.
So do you have anything going on?
Well, I'm not going to Fayetteville this weekend. I decided to chill out. I was going to go to the Fayetteville show, but I decided to just kind of chill.
And that's North Carolina?
Yeah, Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's an army town. And I was like, what am I really going to find in an army town? Anyway? Yeah,
you'd be surprised, man. That's where you get the Mark Jewelers.
Oh, yeah, that's where you get all the Mark Jewelers. I didn't even think about that. But it's Fayetteville is basically like an army base. Like that is the city. If you don't work for the army or Marines or whatever it is that's set there, you're fucking broke ass poor. Like J. Cole rapping about the hood. He grew up in Fayetteville. Like that shit is real. I've been to Fayetteville one time. I do not look forward to going back. It is a very poor town. So skipping Fayetteville.
Yeah, Fayetteville.
And then you're coming down the next week, and we are going to go to Augusta, Georgia. So that should be a good time.
Augusta, yeah, that's going to be a really good one.
Augusta.
That's our second time back in Georgia, first time back in Georgia since we lost D. And that's going to be a weird one because I know we're not going to be going to any TGIFs or what was it, TGI Fridays or what the fuck did you go to?
We went to Applebee's after mistakenly going to what we thought was going to be a sports bar that ended up being a club. Having a beer, like basically pounding a beer and then getting the fuck out of there real fast.
And so the meme came from.
Yep. Yeah.
Where the hose at.
Pointing, where the hose at. And he's pointing. And Applebee's, baby. Then we went to Applebee's, and then we were pretty much bombarded by two extremely wasted ladies. And D, he wanted
work that charm.
He worked the charm, man. Like he basically invited them to come eat with us, and I was like, "Oh my god, here we go. This is gonna be a story for sure." And we had obnoxiously loud girls who were just like basically throwing themselves at us, and we're just like, "Chill, y'all!" Like, goddamn, this is Applebee's.
Got off the plane.
Yeah, we just got out of a car ride, and we're trying to get some food because we're starving. And a margarita. Yeah, D ordered us margaritas because it was like a special at Applebee's that night for margaritas. So we're drinking tequila while eating Applebee's food and having these girls obnoxiously yell at us. So yeah, that was
that's what a 3 day. Isn't that a 2-day con? Is that a 3-day con?
It's going to be a 3-day con. We're going to go. I know you're coming in Friday around noon. And then we are driving down to Augusta. We're going to check into the hotel, chill, maybe get some food, a beer or whatever. And then I think it's open because we have VIP tickets, which do actually include admission.
Yeah, that was a fucking wild story.
Unlike some other conventions that
I
made publicly.
I looked into that.
But so we have VIP tickets, which means we get to go in an hour early on Friday evening when they open and do some early shopping on Friday night. And then the main day is going to be Saturday, obviously. Sunday we'll just clean up if we want anything else. But yeah, so I'm very excited about that.
So is the sale on Friday or Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Because Saturday? And that's going to be a claim sale and then a live sale. And then we're also going to do a claim sale on Sunday, right?
Probably mostly claim sale. Yep. And then we'll do claim sale stuff on Sunday. And then we'll maybe do like an hour or two for the live part of it, just because that's what we kind of have figured out. Saturday nights, people aren't always on whatever, social media and stuff. So we're going to do live sale maybe an hour or so. Most of it going to be claim sale.
Everyone's excited about that, comeback, man. They just the comeback. Everyone gets to go everywhere without masks and stuff like that. Yeah. Disneyland wrapped around the block. So, I mean.
Yeah, in California, I saw that. Yeah, the video of that was crazy.
So you gotta just it's vacation time, so let's just take a break. We're gonna go to Augusta, have some fun, drink some drinks, and kind of celebrate D because that was one of our most ridiculous cons we went to him with.
Yeah,
That was the one with the box, right? Where he gave the box to the fucking guy.
He handed my box of slabs.
Yeah, a box of like expensive slabs.
Expensive slabs to a person who worked like behind the counter at the gift shop of the hotel.
He said, "Here, hold this. I'll be right back.
Can you hold this for a second while I grab some sodas?" I'm not like he just handed the box, and like the guy's just like, "All right," and he's
like, "Oh, okay."
I'm sitting there like, my slabs.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a full box too. Like they can move around and shit. Like he was just holding them like.
And he's like, "All right," and he's like, "All right, I want these sodas here."
Yeah,
and
I want
put the sodas down and then grab
$4 Coca-Colas.
Yeah, he was pissed off about the price of the Cokes, and then we were all pissed off about the price of parking. Oh my gosh. Dude,
it was the most expensive trip we've ever done.
and we still did really well. That's why I'm excited to go back to Georgia. But that was also the spot where we were about to fucking beat that kid. You remember?
Oh yeah, you're gonna throw him through the books.
Oh, dude, I was ready to fucking launch that child. I swear to God.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we get to go to these conventions and meet strange characters with their weird ways to try to sell comic books to us. Like, there's a pretty standard way to sell comic books.
Yeah,
and
for sure. Using your child for bait and switch is not a good...
that's a little iffy, man.
Yeah. I was about to launch the child, and Dee was about to slap the shit out of the dad. I was just like, we need to get out of here. And you were still trying to buy I think you did end up buying a book, too.
I bought a Thor 134 for $50 off of him.
And we were just like, come on, Justin, come on. And you're like, no, I'm buying a book.
I got a 4.5 on it, so, I mean, that was pretty cool.
Hey, and now that's, what, $500 book now?
Well, at the time, it was like $200, and I sold it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, womp womp.
I had an 8.5. I'm not worried about that.
I thought it was going to be like the only redeeming quality of that booth.
No, it's fine.
I bought a $50 book.
But yeah, everything's going to be shipping from you.
Yes.
The sale is.
We're driving. So
I just sent over your slab stand. So here comes your slab stand, buddy. And you finally get. I was so
me again.
I felt so bad because you were doing that sale, and you were like, Justin has with a slab stand. You're putting 3 books at a time on the one slab stand, and I was gonna be like, hey man, can you add one more book? I was gonna do that. You're like, hey man, you should get 2
already
slab
talking
stands.
shit about the quality of the stream and everything. You're like, man, this looks so much better than the other time.
It did though. I'm sorry, but it did. It looked great. I was happy for you. That's how you know we're at that point in our friendship where you're just like, that motherfucker ain't got nothing positive to say, even if he's saying something positive.
Even when he's positive saying something, I know there's an underlying meaning to that.
That motherfucker didn't find God. It's a trip.
All right, so this last
can't wait, man.
Conveniently be coming with weed, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, and a big bar of coke and shit.
Yeah, my slab stand is made of compressed cocaine.
Yeah, and also I'm bringing a slab for the top buyer prize, courtesy of me. And I'm sure that we're gonna find something else there too. So we're gonna have a first and second place prize for what we're doing. Like always, we like to have like a little prize for the sale for the top buyer.
All right, and so join us then.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is my sale this week.
Yes, you've got your little claim sale going on. I know you're gonna have a top buyer prize, 2 top buyer prizes, or 1.
Yeah, Shang-Chi is gonna be the top buyer prize. Shang-Chi.
Another one that you're giving away. That's awesome. So check that out, everybody. That's at Comic Talks. You can see it on his little banner at Comic Talks on Instagram. And he will be doing claim sales Monday through Wednesday with a free Marvel Special Edition 15 going to the top buyer of the 3 days. Look at that. That book only has room to grow right now. Ooh, with the comic clear board on the back. I love it. I still need to order mine.
Unofficially sponsored by Comic Clearports. Unofficially.
Unofficially. And then we are... Yeah, so we're doing Augusta, and then I'm flying up to Detroit, which right after this, we're going to go ahead and get that ticket. So
my first ever live Comic-Con, and I'm going to be having 50-cent boxes and stuff like that for everyone to dig through, and it's just going to be going and mingling with all the other Michigander sellers instead of the North Carolina sellers, which totally different comic book game if you've experienced it.
Mm-hmm. It's different, yeah. Everywhere you go, it's going to be a little bit different. That's why we like.
That's a part of the fun, you know.
all over. Yeah, that's why we're trying to travel out.
Sometimes some kid tries to sell you that $10,000 books that are worth $1,000.
Sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, but we will be back probably live next Thursday. We lost track of days this week. I did it twice now because I missed Monday and I missed Thursday. So this week has just been crazy. But we will be back on next week at Thursday, and then keep up with us on Instagram for the shenanigans that will go down next weekend. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that usual shit, and stay villainous. Peace.